Hi and welcome to the first episode of It's All Gravy with me, Dave, and my wife, Holly.
It's not the first episode, it's the intro.
You know what I mean. The pilot. Where's the pilot in this, Holly?
No, that's not fair.
Well, yeah, this is basically a podcast we've just started, just to document our life and what we're going to be doing to go forward with it. We're going to talk a bit about Holly's business that she started with help through TikTok. She's a craftsman, she's an artist, she does prints and jewellery and basically anything. No, you do commissions a lot.
Yeah, it started off with commissions and then it's sort of, I've figured out what I want to make and I'm putting that out there and it's going down
It's
well
going
for
really
all
well.
the cottage core people out there. I've found my people.
You
It's
have,
great.
yeah. And then apart from that, it's going to be kind of a learning experience for us. We're going to take a topic every week, and we're going to learn about it, and we're going to come back and teach each other about what we've learned. So, I'll let you know what we're doing for the first episode, which will be out after this one. We've chosen the ocean. So for my section, I've chosen the deep sea and the depths and what we do and don't know about. And Holly, you've gone with...
I've gone with coral. I couldn't pick. I was going to go for jellyfish or octopus.
That's really specific, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I like them and I thought they're cool, but then I found some bits on coral and I thought that'd be good to go with. So it's just we have discussions about stuff all the time anyways, and we want to learn something new, so might as well do something about it. And we end up in like kind of a rabbit hole of it could just go anywhere. Like I've already started doing my research on it and I look at one thing and I end up on something else and then something else, and it just sort of like snowballs.
It's one of those
Which
things...
I like. You get to learn different stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you can't sleep and you're on YouTube at 3 a.m. and before you know it, you're looking at something that you would never have thought about watching before, and then you can't forget that. That's just with you forever now.
Yeah, so it's just a way of us to do it.
Yeah.
And put it out there, and it'd be nice to document what's going on as well anyways. Like we've got a lot of new stuff happening and a lot of changes and goals that we want to go for, so this seems like a good outlet.
Yeah, exactly. To give you some perspective, we're a young married couple. We're in our 20s. We've got a 1-year-old daughter, Flo.
And she's insane.
She is...
But she's great.
I know every parent says that. They go, oh, it's so crazy they do this. She is something else.
She really is.
I mean, she's got 10 cousins on my side.
10 cousins on your side. No cousins on my side, but 10 cousins on your side.
So, we know how kids are. She's number
10
of 11. Yeah. So, we had a bit of experience of them before, and she's a character, let's say.
Yeah.
So we talk a bit about her and her development as well for any parents out there that might be listening.
And just being parents.
Just being parents.
It's something else.
Such a change.
You get people talking about being parents and you think, oh yeah, all right, everyone does it, sort of. Well, not everyone, but most people do it, and it's just a normal thing, but it's something else, really.
It is, yeah. And especially if you do it at a young age. I know it's quite commonplace to have younger parents than us, but when she came along, I was 24, you were 22.
Yeah.
And that's quite a thing to happen to you when you're in your early 20s.
Yeah, she was semi-planned. We did discuss it, and it was something we wanted, and we'd planned it, and then just before we found out that she was a thing, we sort of said maybe we'll hold off for a bit for financial reasons, and then
well, I guess we're not doing that anymore.
Kind of changed, but
we wouldn't change it for the world.
God, no.
But yeah, so do you want to talk a bit about your business and introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, I do Doris. That sounds really weird. My small business is called Doris, and I kind of started it last year.
You did. You started
Christmas wreaths. Yeah. It was sort of just to test the waters and see how doing a small business would work with having Flo. At the time, she's a lot smaller and she didn't move as much. So now it's very different, but she's good. I can work around her. It works quite well. But I started Doris doing Christmas wreaths, and then in January I really went for it with doing all my social media, and stuff like that, and putting it out there. And mainly I was aiming towards doing just commissions.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I got a few. I did a really cool fairy house for a little girl for Christmas.
You did.
And I've done I did other Christmas presents of painting the Beatles on pegmen.
They're very specific,
Yeah.
one-off things you were doing, and people were liking them. You were getting orders.
Yeah, and because the whole point is that I've always been able to do quite a variety of things, not to be big-headed about it, but I've always been able to do all sorts of things.
You could turn your hand to
so-
pretty much any artistic medium, can't you?
Yeah, and not in a
Not in a
Cocky
musical
way,
sense, or
but
yeah.
just that I just enjoy it, and I enjoy trying something different, and I just seem to be able to pick it up. It's just a bit of a lucky thing, I guess. But then I started TikTok. I don't know when it's probably been about 3 or 4 months.
Probably around the start of quarantine.
Just before the start of it, I think it was. And I started by doing that series of, I did a video every day to the "Don't Get Depression"
Yes, you did.
sound. And it was because I was in a bit of a rough spot and I was feeling crap, and it was my way of motivating myself to get up and do something every day, get ready.
Yeah, your kind of
And
thought process
get
was, if people are watching
ready.
this, then I've got to keep it up.
Yeah,
For-
exactly.
not just for me,
It's
but for
sort of,
them.
I'm being held accountable elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I did it for 11 days. And during those 11 days is when I started making the first products
You
for
did,
Doris, and having a bit of an experiment and stuff. And then I got a lot of followers and likes from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really weird. And they would leave comments in Spanish saying, I have that soup mug, because I have the mushroom soup mug.
Mm.
And so I had it so much, I was like, I'm going to draw it. I just want to draw it. And then it sort of spiraled from there, that I've done stickers and prints and things like that to do with it. It's a lot around mushrooms, because I'm just a big fan of them anyways. It's a
You always have
weird
been, yeah.
interest in them. And I didn't realise other people felt the same, which was quite cool. And I went for it. I opened an Etsy shop, and it didn't do anything to begin with. I had the odd order here and there, maybe one every 2 weeks, which was always so exciting. And then nearly 3 weeks ago, I
Yeah.
woke up and it sort of happened. I called you, I called my mum, and I just kept going, it's happening, and they're all panicking, going, what's wrong, and I go, no, it's good. I mean, I think it's happening. Like, my video's gone absolutely mad. I've woken up to 17 orders, which is more than I've had overall, and by the end of the day I was close to nearly 100, and I had
Yeah.
so much to do. The place was a state, because I had a big fold out table, and I was packaging so many things, and I've reached over 300 sales now. It's slowed down the last couple of weeks. I had to restock everything because I was sold out.
Yeah.
But it's slowed down, but it's alright, because I've got so many plans for autumn and Halloween, and I'm so excited about
You're
it.
in your element now. You're in your season, and But yeah, I remember that day when I get up before you every day, because I go to work early, and I drove to work. I got to work. I was in the break room, and I just had I checked my phone. I had 3 or 4 missed calls from you. I'm thinking, oh God, what's happening? It's 6:30 in the morning, and I've got all these missed calls. What's happened? In the time it's been half an hour. It's half an hour drive to work. So I ring her back, and I just get, it's happening. And what's
You
happening?
panicked.
I was like, what's going on?
oh
Johnny's
gosh.
come home. What's going on? I'm like, no, I have loads of orders.
Yeah.
And then just throughout the day, I check my phone every few hours, and it's like, I've got 50 orders. I've got 60
Yeah.
orders.
I
just
didn't know what to
didn't
do
stop.
with myself. I was just shaking for about 2 hours in the morning. I just was shaking and didn't know what to do first.
Yeah.
I got the table out and started putting orders out, and Flo's sort of getting really confused because I'm rushing around. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to send these off today or anything, but it was just so mad, and I don't know. It's sort of it was good, because I was getting a bit disheartened with doing. I was doing so much. I was making every day. I've vlogged every day
And
for
what's-
over 75 days now. I haven't even counted. It's been so many. But I've done a vlog every day on TikTok, and I make videos, and I did those manifestation ones. I did a Wes Anderson
Yeah.
one and a Tim Burton one.
quite a bit of production went into those.
Oh yeah, it took all day to do these and do different costumes, and then do editing and put it so it looked like there was more than one of me in a video, and I was so they still don't have a lot of likes on them. I really think they could have done so much better.
It's just
but
algorithms.
it's just a bit of luck sometimes.
Yeah, it's pot luck. There's so many videos out there, And for those of you that don't know, it's on TikTok you do this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like a YouTube or anything, but yeah, and it's just sometimes it's pure luck who sees it. If the right people see it,
Yeah.
you might get 100 views in an hour, but it's just not your demographic.
No.
But yeah, the 1 or 2 videos have just gone mad because you had that vlog. When was it? Day 2 of your double depression ones.
Yeah, day 2, but that was it was all Spanish and it wasn't anything to do with my business. Even though that's one that I'm wearing my earrings I made myself.
Yeah.
And I'm making stuff in it. So it's still kind of putting it
Oh, it
out there,
still
but
ties it in,
no
yeah.
one, I don't think, from that video
Didn't get many
clicked a
orders,
link
so,
or
yeah.
bought anything or anything like that, which is fine. But it was just really strange that one. I get comments now of going, "You can do it," and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was months
I
ago.
did this for 11 days. Like, I'm out of that spot.
Yeah, and
right
then
now.
more recently it was literally you saying you wanted to get your shop out there, you wanted to get more orders.
It was that I'd had one order in a week,
Yeah.
and I was still so excited of having that order. But I was like, I've only had one order this week, but it's still so exciting. Let's package it, and it's just a packaging video of me packing that one order, and people went mad.
And it's got
It's on like 37,000 likes on it. It's got like 500 comments or something.
200,000 odd views.
Yeah, it's just gone mad. So
Yeah, it kind of spiraled from that video, all these orders as of late, and your following's just gone through the roof.
but it's good because I've, like you were saying earlier about me sticking to my guns, that I've stuck with what I want to make and I want to put out there, and you find your people, you will.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm not gonna just do the things that I know is already popular just to make money. That's not the point.
Anyone can do that, exactly.
Yeah, I want to do what I want to do, and there's always going to be people that like that. And so I'm glad that I've stuck with that, because then my followers are the same sort of people. It's not
Yeah.
that I've just got random people following.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I did that phone case thing, and I don't regret it, but all I got was all of my sister's friends liking it, and they're all 14. It just sort of didn't make any sense for my
No,
business. It's
yeah,
not going to go
that's-
anywhere with 14-year-olds following you.
Yeah, they share and go, oh, once I get all my pocket money for this month, or sort of thing.
Yeah, where it's just, but they're just doing it because they want a freebie. That was it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm glad that the winner was actually,
an adult.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a really good one. So
It's a good, it goes to a good person as well. I did.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got to find your people when you're doing business ventures. You got to find your demographic. There's no good looking for the quick fix to orders. Anyone can make something that's already popular as an alternative and make a few quick sales. That will never last because
yeah,
it's not
no.
your...
I
Your
want
idea.
This is like what I want to do. So I'm building up my thing. If I start off by just doing things that are popular, then it's not going to work.
You
And
gotta
the
build a
phone cases
brand.
were kind of that. It was just that I was trying to build up the funds to do what I did want to do,
Yeah, exactly.
which was the main
and
point.
that's more
but-
understandable. You weren't necessarily you weren't putting yourself out there at that point. It was more of a Facebook daily to people that know you already, and
Yeah.
they might be looking for something in that area. So it wasn't so much you like trying to build a brand off the back of that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Hmm.
I, on the other hand, have no idea what I want to do.
We're figuring that out.
We're
though.
figuring it
It's
out. That's
fine.
kind
It's
of
good.
part of this whole documentation process of these podcasts. Now, maybe this podcast can be it, but I find that doubtful. But you never know.
It would
so-
be good.
So I've done lots of jobs. Considering I'm 25, I've been working for a little under 10 years now. Since I left school, really. I've done all sorts. What did I start out as? Well, when I was 13, I was a paper boy, if you want to go that far back. But yeah, I went into advertising at first. No, I was a labourer. When I was 16, I did labouring on building sites, just local ones, just unskilled. Put that rubble in that skip, just hard toil all day. And from that, I thought this is rubbish. Basically, you don't get paid well. You don't learn anything.
Yeah.
You're not progressing. You're a labourer. That's not why you're there. But from there I went on to, I think that's when I went and got a job at windows and door place, you know, UPVC
Yeah.
installations from a friend of my mum's. He needed an apprentice, and I was of apprentice age.
It's about who you know.
It's about who you know, not what you know. And I enjoyed that. I really did. I learned everything. I did CAD software, so I was computer aided design. I was designing the orangeries, conservatories, doors, windows, getting them ordered to size. I was being trusted with that because he knew me since I was a young lad. Like when I was younger, he was friends with my mum for a while. Unfortunately, he then changed career. His business wasn't doing great. It was just him, and then he took me on, and he was struggling. It's hard to work on your own. So that kind of collapsed, and I was taken on by a sister company, which was an advertising company. They invested in him, so they were part owners. That wasn't great. It was a lot of supposedly learning business, and so I transferred my apprenticeship from business and admin management in building to just admin. I think it was. Is basically, you know, print this document and put it on someone's desk.
Yeah.
Not interesting. And it was in marketing. I say marketing. It was a leaflet business. They got local businesses to you know, print leaflets with them and send them out, and everyone hates that. I don't know how it's still a thing, but you'd go out on leafleting trips and every door would have no spam, and that means legally you can't put it through because you'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
I had no problem with that. I just walked past, and so that wasn't fun. I didn't last there long. I then went and I worked in a pub for a while. That was good fun. It was a tiny old pub because here in England we have pubs that are older than some continents, it seems. The pub I worked in was built in 1546, I think I remember, because it was right around the corner from my house. And I'm 6'5", so it was low ceilings. So I was crouching everywhere, which wasn't ideal. So I did that for about a year. Learned a lot of good skills there, learned a lot of good people skills there. I recommend that to anyone that wants to do sales or anything when they've got to communicate with an audience.
Oh, yeah.
Work in hospitality, work in a pub, a restaurant, work at the front desk of a hotel, because you've got to deal with some weird people.
That's why I haven't really done any of those jobs.
Yeah, because you
I
don't want
can't
to
do it.
Yeah, you can't talk to people. Like, and especially it's about...
I can't.
I
can, but I don't want to.
You don't want to, and it's not about something you want to talk to them about anyway. They'll come and talk to you about their doctor's appointments, and you don't want to hear this from these 50-year-old men who are alcoholics. And but you learn, and you meet a lot of people. Yeah. And I'm sure some of these people that I've met, it's 7 years ago now, 6 years ago now, I will meet them again, and it may lead to something. You never know. But yeah, that was good fun. I recommend it to anyone to just work in a pub for a bit, because it's crazy. You will work. It's not just sitting around, pour a few pints here and there. It's hard work when it gets busy. Doesn't help when you're a big guy as well, because you're basically a drayman. They leave them at the barrels at the top of the stairs and go, there you go, you can take them into the basement. It's like, oh, cheers, I'm a cellar boy now. From there, I moved into security. It's a bit of a weird jump. I kind of worked security at the pub. Went from the bar to the security, while still going between. And then the same boss who I worked for at Windows and Doors company, his career move was into security because he did doorman stuff as well, because a lot of people do. When you're a day trader, you have to work nights as a doorman as well, because you don't get paid much, especially if you're like a labourer or something. But he had somehow wangled himself a job as like an area manager at this company that does not just like business security and outdoor security. They did close protection in London. They're based in North London, because we're not far from there, or I especially wasn't back then. I was a bit closer. And so somehow he talked me up, and how I was a good worker, which I am. I do work hard, and even if I don't like the job, I'll put the hours in, put the effort in, because that's why you're there. And he talked me up, and somehow he got me onto level 3 close protection bodyguarding course for free. They paid for it.
Yeah.
I went to Poland. I did my arms license, everything. I worked in London doing close protection drills and in airports and everything to earn this badge, which is no mean feat, especially when you're 19 years old. And then somehow I was suddenly an area coordinator for East of England, trying to get security staff for all for a branch of a large national supermarket,
Yeah.
which was just all of a sudden I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was out of my depth immediately,
Yeah.
and that was a strange thing. 19 years old, and they go, "Here you go. Here's all this responsibility."
Yeah,
When
do
I was
this.
the biggest responsibility I had before was putting my socks on the right feet.
Yeah.
So that didn't last long. I'll be honest. If I got that opportunity now, it would be I'd smash it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this comes with age and experience. I had none at that time.
And just confidence.
Confidence,
to
yeah.
do it.
Spotty,
Yeah.
gangly. I was 6'5" and I weighed maybe 12 stone. I wasn't built for close protection security.
Yeah. You
Um,
are now. If you look at
yeah,
you now, you're
yeah.
like, yep, that's what
Bit of
you've
a
been
change.
doing.
10 stone later. For anyone listening, I've gone from about 160 pounds to I now. Well, my heaviest was 310. I've dropped a bit of weight since then, but yeah. It's so that didn't last great, but then I took that security badge and I put it to use because you can't squander something like that. That's £1,000 that course like that.
Yeah.
And so I just did security from there, door work, hospital work, whatever, for a couple of years. And as good as that is, it is good to you. You will work. You'll find work anywhere.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
Oh, yeah.
Doing 12, 14-hour nights.
You read a lot of books, didn't you?
Read a little bit. That's a good thing that came out. I read maybe 2 books a week, 2 big novels. And from there it was, but it gets lonely. So from that I moved on to a bit of a weird career change again. I went to care.
Which is how I ended up in
Which
it.
is how you ended up in care.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that, yeah. So I went from being a security guard into care for adults with learning disabilities, which is one of the hardest jobs I've done, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just like physically hard, which it is. People don't, because you see a lot of young women in these roles,
Yep.
and it's physically hard. You don't know how they do it, really.
Yeah.
But it's also emotionally and for you exactly. Emotionally and psychologically difficult as well, because it is.
Yeah.
You're trying to look
Big
after these guys and they don't know better. They're, like I said, they have learning disabilities, physical disabilities. They don't know. They can't control their emotion. You get hit. They refuse to do things. They're oftentimes, like with these young women that do these jobs, they're bigger and stronger than you.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but so I take my hat off to anyone that still does it, because
Good, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do it anymore. So I don't do it anymore. But yeah, so that's a hard job, and I went from there into general building maintenance. Went to work with my brother-in-law. Did that for 6 months to a year. He didn't have enough work to keep me on. Unfortunately, it was a difficult time back then.
And we had Flo come in.
And we had Flow coming, so I had to have something more sustainable. And I just off chance went to a local company that specialises in strongman competitions and strongman equipment, and fabricators, steel fabricators, welding and that sort of thing. And he said, I can't do welding, but I work hard and I will learn. And he goes, I'll give you a chance. And that was nearly 2 years ago now.
Was it?
Yeah, nearly 2 years ago.
Jesus, yeah.
Um,
And it's to do with what you like. You
Yeah,
do strongman.
I competed
you've
in
done
strongman.
Strongman competitions and train for it and that, and to get something within that is amazing.
yeah, as I was saying, I was particularly interested back then.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity, and I've learnt a lot doing it.
Oh yeah.
I can
hell
now
of a lot.
weld, MIG, TIG, stick, whatever you name it, I could do. I can fabricate, give a bit of practice, I can do anything really. That's why I try and kind of pride myself when I can learn.
You
What-
did. You got your way up there really quickly. That was what they were so impressed with, is that once they taught you something, that was it. You were off, and you
Yeah.
you did it, and then you were up to their standards so quickly that.
I like to think
You're
so,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah. But unfortunately, that's kind of changed as of late. Different people come into companies. It's a hard time. People are stressed. And the environment there has changed a lot.
People get too comfortable and they sort of show their true colours a bit
Yeah.
as well, I think. And
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think it's time up for me there at the moment. I'm not like I've been fired or anything, but I just
No.
feel like it's time to move on.
yeah.
You know when you're done somewhere, and you've done everything you can, and maybe
You're
not
not
being
gonna get
treated
any-
the way you want to be treated, or
You've put so much work into it that you're not getting even just the respect back from it. You don't get anything back out of it. That it's
yeah. When you stop getting, it starts becoming difficult to get up to go to work in the morning. That's when you should really think about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and that's what it's been for me. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
you did.
And when you start regretting setting an alarm,
Yeah.
it's time to start thinking. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually going back to my brother-in-law's.
Yeah.
He's got lots of work now. He's done great with building a business, and because he just started when he took me on the last time. So in two years or so, he's done really well. He's got loads of business. He's got multiple teams now. So I'm going to go there.
It'll be good for you, I think. I think it will be. Most days will be different, and and you'll
Wider range
you'll
of stuff.
probably get yourself up, and you'll be running a team there. Like,
We'll see. Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I'm a quick learner. I'm not a groundsman or a handyman, but I'm practical. I can do most hands-on jobs with just a minimal instruction. I mean, anyone can do the basic bit of carpentry, but not knocking carpenters. It's a very hard job to do well, very well, to a professional standard. But I could turn my hand to pretty much anything. A bit of a jack of all trades, but I think my standards are a bit higher than a jack of all trades.
you do. I think that's what will help, is that you do have high standards. Some people will go, oh, I can do that, but then they don't. You kind of look at them and you think, did you see what I saw? Like, how can you look at that and go, yeah, that's good? You can't look at that. You can think it's
possible. It work.
Yeah, but
for a time.
Yeah, but you've got a bit more of a standard that you'd look at it and go, no, I'm not happy with that. That's got to be like this.
If I wouldn't buy it myself, I'm not happy with it. Let's say that much.
Yeah.
Like, if I
So that's
make a
good.
bit of equipment at my current-ish job, and I wouldn't want to buy it, then
Yeah.
I'm not happy with it.
That's good then.
Um,
You need that.
Yeah. It helps when others hold you to high standards as well. I work with a really good guy, Joe, who has taught me basically everything. He's a very, very accomplished fabricator. He's qualified in basically anything, so I owe a lot of my learning in this job to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's time to move on and go back to that. And even, you don't know how long it will last. Don't know.
You're still going to do stuff for Doris, though.
I'll do stuff for Doris, yeah. We've discussed this recently, trying to find what my calling is, let's say.
Well, the whole like future of Doris is it's gonna get bigger, and I keep saying this, don't I? That I won't go if, because it's going to. That's the whole point. You can't just go, oh, I'd like it to. No, you're gonna do it if you really want it and you really think it's gonna work. Then do it. It's gonna happen. So Doris is gonna be big. It's going to have its shop still, and it's going to do stuff like that. I want to do murals one day. I want to do bigger floristry things even. And I think you could do some amazing things on board, especially with the skills that you know now. I think to start with is the candles.
Candles,
We're going to do manly candles.
Manly candles.
We need to try and figure that out and what's going to happen. I'd like to do my own candles, and then manly candles will make sense. And yeah, it's going to get bigger. We're going to take on Kat, my best friend.
Yeah.
She wants to, because she's super creative, and we want to do costume design and make outfits that could just be picked up to do for music videos and stuff like that. I just think that'd be insane.
It's kind of an open-ended business.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, even just being called Doris, was that
you're not
you would
limiting
hear it
yourself
and
to
you don't hear it and go,
Doris
oh, I know exactly what that is.
jewellery. You're not
don't.
limiting yourself to Doris. It is just, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, so...
And that is, like you said, any skill set can lend itself to Doris.
Yeah, I think it's going to get big.
Like they say, your best friend Kat, she's creative. She's gonna do similar thing to you. And then my best friend Kat, my best friend Steve, who is actually Kat's partner, which we can talk about that as well. He's an IT engineer and a good one at that.
He's going to do website and that for us.
Yeah, he can do that. He can do online shopping and everything. He can do all sorts. He's a multimedia expert. He can.
We went to him to ask about equipment and software to do a podcast.
Exactly.
He's our go-to guy for everything.
He's our IT man.
Yeah, I message him and I go, the printer's not working, and he connects to my laptop and fixes it. Like,
yeah,
he's very handy to have about.
he's useful because considering I'm a bit of a caveman.
Just a bit. You know
If I can't
some
fix
things,
a
but
TV with a hammer, I'm not interested. You know, if I can't weld it, I don't care. But no, yeah, it's kind of what we're going to try and put all our energy into going forward, and it will pay off eventually.
It will. I mean, it's the bit that I've already done already is.
Yeah.
That I don't know what English that was just then, but
Not any really, is it?
yeah. But going back to careers, because you've gone through yours, I've done tons before Doris.
Yeah.
Mine have been all over the place. I think my first one was I was a cleaner in Travelodge. I did all the rooms.
Yeah.
Which I did so well that within 2 weeks I was training new staff.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can do when you're not a stone cold idiot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just sort of got to it and they were like, okay, can you train people now? Because you're kind of the best one we have here. And then I quit that because the only reason I got that in college was to fund a holiday. I wanted to go on with
As
my mates.
you do when you're 16.
We all just sort of went, do you want to go on holiday? Right, we've all got to get jobs for the next month.
Yeah.
To fund
all
a holiday.
your money goes into the holiday.
We all went on holiday. I worked for another 2 months and then quit. I mean, they got really funny, so there was other reasons, but the main point was that holiday's over. I don't have much motivation to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then, was it after that? It must have been that I did my modelling.
Yeah, you were a model.
Which you wouldn't... I don't think anyone would look at me now and think that I'd done it. But that was all by chance. I was still in college. And it started because one of my mum's friends knew a hairdresser in Chelmsford Town that knew a hairdresser that worked on X Factor and shows like that. And
Alright.
they were doing a tour around the country of a hair show for, I don't know, it's a whole other thing. It's another world, really.
Oh god, yeah.
And they were down a model, and so she recommended me and messaged my mum, and I went, yeah, okay, I'll do it. I was on the bus on my way to college, and they called me and they were like, what's your hair look like? And I was like, well, it's this long, and it was like an inch long around the sides and long on top, and I just dyed it, so it was a blank canvas, and they were like, you are perfect, can you get here to this address in such time? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, I'm gonna have to skip college now.
Oh well.
Jump off the bus. My mum picks me up and we go to this... What?
I just completely forgot that I went to college. Straight
Yeah,
out of
fair
school.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did mechanics in college. I didn't do very much of it.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
But yeah, and we went to this hair show, and the guy who does X Factor and things like that was like, oh my god, you're amazing, I'm signing you, you're gonna do jobs for me after this anyways, and was like all over the place. I was really like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay, and just sort of went with
Money's
it.
money.
Yeah.
50 quid,
Cut my hair. I had like weird like long bits at the bottom and then really short and then long on top, and it went purple and blue, and it just spiraled from there. I then got another job from him, and he used to pay me like, paid me, sprayed me, that sounds weird, paid me about £200.
50 quid.
Yeah, no, I got £200 for like a couple of hours work. He like redid my hair a little bit, and we did a photo shoot. I never saw the photos.
Which is...
I messaged it. I was supposed to get all of them for like a portfolio because it was going to be the sort of start of it, and
Right.
never got the photos. They didn't answer me. They were just a bit awful, and I ended up doing loads of jobs. I did jobs to magazines. I did more jobs with the same guy. I did photography workshops, so it helped out photographers, and I was the model for that, which I got some really cool photos with because they were just actual people
Yeah.
that wanted to learn
Have
photography,
fun and take some cool
and they
pictures.
sent them all to me, and they were so lovely, and they were so much fun. And it's very different to what people think with models, that they don't eat or anything, because you go and do a job, they just want to feed you. They're like, what can we get you to eat? And they set up like so much food and get loads out, and they're like, eat something, and they make sure you're okay. So most of the time, 99% of the time, everyone's so super lovely. They're really lovely with you, and they look after you, and they feed you, and you're all good. But I just happened to get the 1% at the time that they were awful, because one of my last jobs was a hair one. I wasn't told beforehand that if it was for a competition, I knew that much, but I wasn't told that if the photo got through, I had to be the model for the next part of the competition. I didn't know that.
Right.
I got paid for a job, and on the job, I just started putting weight back on because I had like a bit of an issue with my weight, that I lost all my weight because of a stupid dude, and was kind of anorexic without going to the doctors about it. And I was just skin and bones. There was nothing of me. But I just started putting weight back on. I was a normal size. There was nothing wrong with me. I was
small.
still skinny.
Yeah.
But I couldn't fit into the clothes very well. But I got into them. It was fine. Like, we sorted it out. But the photographer's French friend turned up and stood there and, like, slagged me off, basically, the entire time photos were being taken. It was horrendous. And then when I was having my makeup done for the next round of stuff, and I could hear her just saying how rubbish I was and how awful I was. And I was like, I'm a kid still, really.
How
I'm
old
not,
were you,
I was
17?
like 17.
Yeah.
And so, like, that just didn't make any sense. And so then it got round to that actually the photo did go through and we were into the next part. I would have to go to Paris with the photographer that was also awful to me and let his friend stand there and be horrendous. And it would just be me and him.
Bit sketch.
I know. So I was like, no, I can't do this. And so I said to him, I started a bit of a white lie, and I said that my passport had expired.
Right.
It hadn't, but it was, I couldn't just tell him because I don't know, I just didn't want to be horrible about it. But
Which is
he
weird.
went absolutely mental at me.
If he didn't explain it to you, then he has no right to, though.
No, I know, but he went mental, and then I had his boss messaging me, who had also done jobs before. She's another hairdresser I'd done jobs for, and she went mental. And so I explained the whole situation to her because I felt a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
And she came back and she went, I am so sorry, this is appalling. He is not going to be, like, she dropped him.
Wow.
He was off of his team because of how he treated me and let someone else treat me on his shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I lost interest after that. I was like, I don't want to put myself in that situation anymore. I'm sort of done with this. So I stopped. And then I worked in a dental lab.
Yeah, as you do.
And learnt how to make dentures.
Which is really cool.
It was. I actually really enjoyed that job. And for a little bit, I did also work at Sainsbury's doing...
click and collect sort of thing,
Yep,
yeah.
I was an online shopper. So I would get up at about 2 a.m, cycle to Sainsbury's and do 4 hours work there, and then cycle to the lab and do a full day of work, and then go home, sleep, and do that 6 days a week. And I had to drop Sainsbury's because I got really ill from how exhausted I was.
Yeah, it's going to catch up with you.
But working, I loved the dental lab, but then it just got to that it was just me and my boss. It was a little bit awkward. They couldn't raise my monies anymore, and I wanted to do more than what I was getting. I was getting kind of a kids thing now. You were doing a full technician's
job, weren't you? Really, not getting paid for it.
Yeah, and because it was me, my boss, and another technician, and then they dropped the technician. Well, they dropped the technician, quit, because he was a very strange man, as it was. And I wasn't getting any more money, which didn't make any sense. And then he's telling me about what he's buying, and I was like, I can't stay. Like, I need my monies to go up. The good thing I got out of it was my car, my pink Beetle, my Barbie car. So I got that out of working there, and that was all I was able to get. But then I went and did Tesco's doing nights, and I did that until I couldn't anymore, and I was horrendous, and I just couldn't function.
Yeah.
And then I was with you by then.
Yeah.
Because we'd moved out, and I lived with Kat, and then you moved in.
Yeah.
And then I worked in the house opposite you doing care.
Yeah.
And that is the most emotionally, psychologically draining job you can do.
Yeah.
Physically as well, yes. And I did it pregnant.
Yeah.
Which didn't go down well. I got a few kicks and hits, and it wasn't good. But
that is a risky run doing that kind of job. Anyone pregnant.
Definitely.
And a lot of other jobs as well, but it's not ideal.
No, but I did for a time adore that job. I adore the job, not so much all of the people there, but I mean staff, not the people I looked
it attracts
after.
a strange kind of staff.
But I adored the job because I got on with them so well. It felt easy how well I got on with them, and I was good at my job. I knew I was good at my job, but then Flo came along and stay-at-home mum, and now doing my business. So, which is what I wanted to do, and it's kind of Flo has let me do that. I've always wanted to work for myself and do my own thing. So, to be able to do that, it's kind of thanks to Flo coming along.
Yeah.
You know,
She's kind of forced you into having to go, right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it.
Oh, and I worked at the garden centre.
You did. Between
Before-
Tesco and Care.
Yeah, between Nights and Care, I worked at the garden centre, which I adored. I made
Yeah.
terrariums and outdoor planters, but then it turned out that the staff there were a whole bunch of bullies
Yeah.
and were awful to me. And
They blamed you for the person that was in your job before you quitting.
yeah, they
like,
left.
oh,
and
why is she here? It's like, well, the other person quit.
Yeah,
So-
they just didn't like the fact that I had the job then, which was nothing to do with me, really.
No,
I
you
just
saw an
applied for a
opening-
job.
Yeah, you saw an advert on a website and you thought, well, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was okay to begin with, and I learnt a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. But then I guess they figured out they just didn't like me, and I don't know why.
They didn't get a chance to
Didn't
know you.
No, exactly. And voice crack.
You're becoming a man.
But yeah, it just got horrible. They just treated me like I was a complete idiot, and
It was very high school clicky.
yeah,
But then you find a lot of people that maybe, if you're younger and you haven't been working long or anyone, a lot of jobs are like that. And it's
Yeah,
not
they
just
can
like
be.
it's a woman thing or a young person thing. I have worked with 50-year-old, 60-year-old men that are like that. Men in their 40s who they will put their friends and their little group before work, everyone's livelihood. And it's a very strange thing. I guess it's just human nature. I guess it's just some kind of people.
I just think it's a variety of people that they kind of I think it's the people that did well in school, like they think that it went well because they had their friendship groups and things like that. Like I didn't do well in school because I didn't like submit to the whole, oh, we're gonna take the mick out of this person, we like this because of this. And
Yeah, if you
I
take
was
the piss out of
myself
them,
and not
then
them.
you're friends with us because we take the piss out of them as well.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
people
that's-
that have never got out of that high school
It's people
sort
that
of
peaked
mentality.
in high school.
Yeah,
Like that was the
yes.
highlight of their
Yeah.
life. Their highlight was when they were 16 years old and they made one joke in maths and everyone laughed and thought it's not going to get better from here.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, but that's just another reason why we want to do our own thing.
Yeah.
And we want to change things. Like you said before that you didn't want the everyday mundane, like it's this hour
That's-
to this hour and doing
I've
the same
heard-
thing every day.
Yeah,
like,
many a conversation, not just you, but like my dad especially. My dad is the opposite. My dad has done not the same job, but he's been in constant employment in engineering from he left school on the Friday, he tells me, when he was 16, and on Monday he was in work, working 5-6 days a week, and it hasn't changed. And he is now 60 years old, 60 years old.
but some people can do that. Some people are able to manage that. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't manage that, and not because that's a bad thing that I'm lazy or anything, but it's that
People want different challenges, and he has
Yeah.
challenges every day. He's a very intelligent man. He's worked his way up the hard way. A lot of people go straight to college, then to university, or sixth form in university, and get the qualifications, and bang, you're in a management role. You've got these, and you know what you're doing on paper, but you need to.
you don't have the experience.
You don't have the job experience. You don't have the connection with the workforce. He went in at ground one. He was an apprentice. He learnt the job, the shop floor. Went up from there. Went into aviation from standard engineering. Became an aerospace engineer. Worked on planes. Went into management. Went into quality control. And now he's one of the best at his jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Like there's not many people that do his job. Obviously, there's a fair few because there's lots of planes in the world.
Yeah.
But he works internationally. He does stuff for airports and airlines in Japan. He works in Holland. He works in the UK. Does manuals for different companies. He's exceptional at his job,
Yeah.
and he loves it.
Yeah. But that's good. Some people can do that.
Some
but
people just find
we've
out what they're
just-
good at.
Yeah, we've just figured out that that's not for us at all, and I
No,
mean it's really
yeah.
hit you recently, which is why we're gonna figure out what your passion is, because
Yeah.
I just don't think enough people have it wrapped around their head that you have one chance of doing anything and everything.
Yeah, and
Like-
they resign themselves to saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I guess that's it. Okay,
'Cause
I'll
they
make the
dream-
most
'cause
of
they,
it."
Yeah, because
but
they dream of like, oh, it could be like this, could be like this. They don't think that I can actually go and do that. You can.
yeah,
Just do it. So
I mean,
that's
we're
where
not
we're
being naive and and what's the word, you know, assuming that, oh, you can do anything you want and everyone should do whatever they want. We know that there's a need for bin men. We know there's a need for
Oh yeah, definitely.
supermarket shelf stackers, and there are always going to be people like that. But there are people that are fine with doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. People shouldn't
No, not
look
at all.
down on others for choosing a low skill job, you might say. People want what they want. If they're happy doing that, and then they go home to their family, or they go out the
But
weekend.
that's what I mean by passion. Like, even it's not bad that someone's passion is to be a bin man. Like, some people do. You see those videos of kids that are obsessed with the bin man, but
Yeah.
then they do grow up and they are a bin man.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Bus drivers,
but I
people
think
love driving buses.
we've just figured out that our passions
Like-
are going to end up confining us to a 9 to 5. That's just not what we're able to do, and that's everyone is different. And as long as you're happy in what you're doing, then you're happy. It's just we've sort of realised that we do have one chance at this, and we do have bigger dreams than you going to work every day and me being at home with Flo. That's not how things should go. So we've got Doris on the go, and it's going to get big and be amazing, and we're figuring out your passions and what you're going to do. We've got plans to get a camper, to get a van, and we want to bugger off, and that'll probably help with finding what you want to do.
Yeah,
we
it
go
gets you a bit more
all
of
over the place.
everything. I mean, I've seen my fair share of the world. Everyone has. I mean, you can go anywhere you want in the blink of an eye now. But yeah, it's you gotta get out there to know what there is.
Yeah, so
you might not
that's
see
what
it
we want to
just
try
in
and
your
do.
local area. But yeah, definitely it's one of these big transitionary periods right now where you not make it or break it sort of thing, because you can break it until you make it. Like, it's the whole thing. Like, there's no such thing as failure. It's just learning experiences sort of thing. But yeah, so we're gonna see what we can do about that.
Yeah, and this is part of it.
This is part of it. Yeah.
I like having a way of documenting stuff, and so TikTok was a way of documenting me starting my business, and then this is a way of documenting us really pushing for changing and figuring out what our future is going to be. So it's going to be get a camper, maybe bugger off for a while, and we want to and save some money doing that,
Yeah.
and get a house with some land.
Yeah, whether
Live in
that
a
means
camper,
renovating an old dilapidated one or building one from
one,
scratch. Like, we are capable of that.
I think we're at a point where we're realizing that we are, I don't know how to put it, that we've got this one body, we have this one life, and we need to better ourselves to be able to make the most of it. So we're both trying to figure out our, like, being healthier. Like, I'm on keto, and I think you might start keto.
Yeah, I might start that.
It's just we're at a point where I think we're growing up more.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't grown up, but
No.
it's we're sort of going past growing up, and we've grown up, you know?
Yeah, and we're really starting to, without sounding all starry-eyed and dreamy, we're trying to find ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you're doing keto, you're losing weight, or just want to be fitter, really, don't you?
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
whilst I've always been active and I'm not unhealthy, I've always been a multi-sport kind of person. Like, growing up, I did basketball, football, cricket, and you name it, I did it, and I did it to a high level.
Yeah, it's very different now.
It's very different. I've kind of narrowed myself into doing strongman, as we mentioned before, focusing on strength and getting bigger and as strong as I can. And I've gone from an athletic person to being, like I mentioned before, my biggest 310 pounds. That's 140 kilo or 22 stone. Like, I'm not much below that now. I'm still 21 and a half to 130 odd kilo or so. It's a lot of weight on a human body.
Yeah.
And there's people much bigger than me. But I'll tell you now, they struggle with it every day. It's hard being that big.
Yeah.
And yeah, it helps with strength and all that, but it's not necessary. Okay. But so yeah, I'm going to focus on becoming more athletic again, because I did all kinds of fitness tests. I did military fitness tests, and I was borderline elite fitness, because you do when you grow up playing all kinds of sports. Anyone that's done that can attest to that. You are ridiculously fit. So I just want to get a bit of that back and try and better myself instead of just being a one-trick pony, let's say.
Yeah, I think it'll be great, and you'll find more things that you can do, and probably meet new people and join teams and stuff like that, and maybe I will too.
Yeah.
Never know. I'd like to try something different. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and that's what this podcast is gonna help with, and also us learning some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I've already done loads of research, and it's already started snowballing, and you've been sat there, we've written loads already, and I mean, I know this set out and the layout of it might not be up to scratch to begin with. I mean, we don't have it. It's taken us so long to get a name for it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us a while. We don't have a little jingle or anything like that yet, but we'll settle into it, and we'll have the perfect like opening and how things are set out, and we're going to have a rant section, and we're going to have our
plenty of things I want to rant
thing,
about,
and yeah, we like a rant.
Yeah.
But we're good at conversation, we're good at discussions, and we bounce off each other nicely. So this just seems like the great thing to do.
Great thing to do, and it also gives us a chance to open up our discussions to other people.
Yeah.
So say we get a comment and we can reply to that or whatever. Like it's just, or maybe connect with people that have a similar train of thought. Or we want to learn something new every week as well, because tell you what, we're going to have some pretty interesting topics. We're going to go with, like I said, we're starting off with ocean, which is
I think our next one's movies, isn't it? Or film.
We'll do movies or film, like film production, that sort of thing. Yeah. Just
we already started kind of ranting about it, and then we're like, oh, we have to save this for talking on a podcast. Yeah. So, but I think this is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be great, and we'll find our people that want to hear it, and
yeah,
it'll go well. I mean, I found my people on TikTok, and I hope some people from TikTok come to here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Which would be nice, because they are my people.
I mean, I'd love to hear you let us know what you think of this. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go from there, see it every week, and keep it going until we can't anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just the instruction. It's really long, but hey ho, this will probably be the same sort of size that the general episodes will be, which will come up weekly for now.
Weekly, yeah.
If we get a bit adventurous, we might go more than that, but for now,
if there's call for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for now, this is I've forgotten the name of it.
It's All Gravy.
It's All Gravy. This is the All Gravy podcast with me, Dave, and
Holly.
And we'll see you in the next episode.